Are there a lot of people working in this plant who speak only Portuguese?
Well, to answer that question, as we well know, in the metropolitan business area of Fall River, there are approximately 60% of the population of Fall River either Portuguese speaking or Portuguese in extraction. For that reason, we have to draw upon many of the Portuguese speaking or Portuguese immigrants from the Fall River area. We have approximately 25% of our personnel who are Portuguese speaking and do not have the command of the English language. And what we have done to help ourselves in the communication with these people is a number of our employees, as myself, have gone to school evenings 1, 2, or 3 years to learn the fluency of the Portuguese language so that we can communicate with them as well as we can with our English-speaking population in the plant.
How does someone who speaks only Portuguese find out about a job such as a job here?
Well, most of it is done through employees who already work here. Most of it's done through employees who already work here, and it's much a family affair, so that they're referred by present employees who may be of Portuguese extraction, and they have relatives coming over from Europe, and they come into the personnel department asking if there are any other jobs for some of their family members that are coming over from Europe.
So language basically isn't a problem?
Not necessarily, and after they've got themselves acclimated to the ways that we have here in this country and learning something of the job, even supervision has really no great problem communicating with them. And they are, strictly speaking, quite quick to learn the English as far as even if it's a limited amount of English, it's sufficient enough for them to communicate with their supervisors in what is to be done on a daily, day-to-day basis. This operation being filmed now is in the anodizing department, where the pieces have been set up on a rack. The racks are deposited in tanks where electrochemical operations are being performed to bring the pieces to a bright, locked-in finish. Pieces are then rinsed off in some rinse waters, both warm and cold, different degrees. Then their pieces are unracked and set to the stock room for application in the assembly department. I'd like to make mention that the men may be waiting around now where the pieces are being treated in the tank and the reason for that is they're waiting around because the pieces are set in for a specified period of time. So you'll notice on each one of the tanks there are time clocks that are turned when each rack is deposited in the tank. They're in for a specified period of time. When the bell rings at the time clock, then the racks are removed from the tanks. Some of these other pumps before they go to lunch, so we'll have to move on. Or else if they go to lunch, then that will be the end of the won't catch them. The water used in the booth this is called a water wash booth, and the purpose of the water is to catch the overspray, much like a filtering system is used to catch dust or even overspray in painting, so that the overspray is caught by the water, and the water is trapped at the bottom of the booth as sediment, then it's cleaned away there. And that's the purpose of what's called a water wash booth, to trap the overspray of the paint. The pieces are turned on a spindle as they approach the guns. The guns are triggered so that the paint is being sprayed and deposited onto the pieces as the pieces are passing before the guns in the water wash paint booth. They continue on to the conveyor belt into ovens where the pieces are baked on to high degree heat ovens. And in this operation is practically automatic operation. All that we have is one man putting the uncompleted pieces onto the spindles, and another man, after the pieces are processed through the ovens, to be removed from the spindles and put onto pallets to be towed away to other departments. Fellas, I want you to smile. That's it. I'd like to make some comment as the shots that were taken by camera on the automatic spray boots and water wash boots. This is a little different in that this is a hand operation. Then we have turntables where the pieces are set up on trays on the turntables, and the operator sprays the piece by hand. This takes a greater degree of training and skill to do this hand spraying operations. You'll note also that we have the water wash boots to catch the overspray just as we had in the automatic spray boots. The training period of a hand sprayer to be a Class A hand sprayer may take anywhere from 1 to 2 years before he acquires the degree of skill where he is fully trained. Again, these operations are on incentive in that the individuals can earn a bonus pay for the pieces they produce and they paint. There has to be a degree of pride in what they're doing in order to get the finished pieces to have the pieces look as they should in the proportion of the quality control requirements that we have in the plant. And another thing we must realize, these pieces are being sprayed now, and it's the finished pieces, and so they will be shown in the highest degree of luster when they're assembled to the finished product.
How did you get your job here?
Well, a friend of mine brought me over here.
And he told you there was an opening and you came and applied?
Yes.
And you had no trouble getting hired? How long have you been here?
A couple of years.
How long did it take to learn how to do this accurately without missing anything?
About a month.
Did they train you here? You had never done this before? Are you paid by the number of pieces that you do in a day?
It's like a percentage they have. Like you have 100% is for the company, and you have whatever you make over that is piecework.
So you have to really keep at it, and I'm really interrupting your
Mommy. It's all right. I'm ahead right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Down here is the address of the company?
Just put it on my process. Would you tell us a little bit about your job, how you got it, how long you've been working here?
Well, I've been working here for 4 years. Started off in school at Diamond Regional where I started spraying. When I came to Arthur, he got me my job.
How long does it take to learn how to do this?
Well, it'll take a while, a little while, once you get used to spraying.
What are some of the things you have to be really careful about?
Well, you have to be careful about a lot of things, believe me. As far as spraying, watching different things, the air pressure, and so many things can really...
So you have to be careful about the equipment as well as about the job that you're doing?
Yourself, how you feel. Even if you have a bad day, could be...
Is it very easy to get drips and things like that by mistake?
Oh, very easy. Very easy, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We have your permission.
comment on this one, Mary?
The operations being filmed now are what is called assembly operations, in that all of the parts that have been fabricated throughout the plant come to this area here, where they're put together into the finished product, and they are assembled before they go on to pack and out to the stock area to be shipped to the customer. Again, most of the individuals, if not all of the individuals in this department, are on some incentive program, either in a team or individually. The makeup of this department, as far as male and female, is probably in the 50-50. There are many operations here in the performance of these operations require some, especially women with small hands. Otherwise, most of the men with large hands can't get the pieces into some of the areas and some of the cans that we have here, so that it requires someone with a small hand, and the skill is required. You can ask some questions if you want to.
Can you explain what you're doing?
Yeah, I have to stamp inside.
And
I have to inspect like the housing, then I stamp.
Do you do any assembly, or do you pass it on to the next person for that?
I do the assembly.
And she puts one part on and then sends it to you, and you do the next process?
right.
Could you explain what you're doing?
I finished the light. I finished the thing.
Are you putting the wiring together?
Right. With the socket, with the connecting.
How did you get your job here?
How did I get this job? To a friend of mine, a cousin of mine.
How long have you been working here?
4.5 years.
You like it?
Yeah, interesting work.
Did you have to know how to do this before you came, or did they train you when you got here?
They taught me. Right, they trained me.
So you came straight from scratch, not being skilled at all in this?
Pre-factory into this. I never did it before.
How long did it take you to learn it?
It didn't take long, really. You do the first operation and they teach you the first piece and then you pick it up from there, you know.
Do you have to concentrate on a lot of detail while you're working, or can you do it?
Times, but it usually comes to you after a while.
Can you sort of do it almost without thinking now?
Right, right. You sort of know what it is.
So that must make it nice and pleasant so you can enjoy your surroundings.
Right. This is a plug assembly. This is what does it, you know. This is your insulator. It has to be in there so you don't get a short. You connect it. You're gonna push it through.
You must have to be careful not to scratch the paint in the finish.
Right. But you get the knack of it after a while, I guess, you know. That's your key to turn it. This is to screw it down to hold it tight.
After you... Go ahead.
That's your on and off switch, you know. So it'll scratch, and you're gonna wash.
You're wiping off all traces of you, right? So there's nothing left to be done to this by the time you're finished with
When
it.
it's all done, goes packing. It's ready to go out. That's what it is.
Thank you very much. explain a little bit what you're doing, please?
Yeah, I know speaking. I know speak Portuguese. Yeah.
How? Could you ask just how you found the job, how long you've been here, that kind of thing? How you learned it?
Ela quer saber quanto tempo o senhor está trabalhando aqui nessa fábrica.
Ano e meio.
Ano e meio.
Ano e meio. 1 year half.
Conhece as cestas que trabalha aqui nessa fábrica?
Como?
As cestas, conhece as cestas que trabalham?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Adaptation, bem. Is adaptation, yeah.
E quanto tempo estás nessa terra aqui agora?
Ano e meio.
Ano e meio?
Sim, ano e meio.
Mas começaste o trabalho quando veste nesta terra, o primeiro trabalho ou o quê?
Exatamente, de primeiro trabalho, exatamente.
Could you tell us what you're doing?
From what I know, they call this frame lines, but that's about it because I haven't been here that long, so all I know is frame lines.
Are you learning the job on the job?
No, I already learned the job. I already learned it.
How long have you been here?
6 months,
How long did it take you to learn the job?
1 day. And sometimes it all depends. It takes less than that. Sometimes it takes from 1 hour to a whole day. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks.
Well, you were quick to learn it then.
You could say that.
How did you get the job here?
Relatives got me the job. 'Cause I got my father works here, and I got a couple of more relatives that work here too, you know. So I got the job in the.
They found it for you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. You know.
Could you show us again what you're doing and we'll watch you for a minute?
Yeah. All right. Oh, like I told you before, I'm camera shy, so I might get a little bit more.
I make 2,000 more.
Okay. Could you explain what a tool and die shop is?
This particular tool and die shop, we manufacture parts. We pierce aluminum, we draw aluminum, we form aluminum. We make all the tooling for it.
It's a highly skilled job, right?
There is a degree of skill in it, yes, it's high skill, some of it is not. When you come to your dies, yes, there's a degree of skill involved in it.
How do you get that kind of skill?
It takes years of learning and practice.
Where do you go to learn it?
They have vocational schools around, and some you can start at the bottom and work up in the regular shop, jobbing shop. We have 2 people in here who have started off at the bottom and are working their way up. And with a period of time, 4 to 6 years, they will get to the top, hopefully, if they work out.
What different kinds of tools do you make?
Draw, pierce, blank. We make up rollers, make up hydroform chucks, spinning chucks, the general run-of-the-mill stuff.
When you get an entirely new style of thing that you're going to make, do you then make the chuck for the spinning so that...
Yes, first they go to design. The design designs up the chuck, and the chuck is made here. After the chuck is made, if there's any piercings or lancings to be done in the part, then they're done here also. The tools for that.
So you do the whole operation from the ground up right here?
From the ground up, yes.
Does somebody do designing here, or are designs brought to you from someplace else?
We do the design work here in the plant. We have a staff, that's their function.
Okay, how long have you been working here?
How long have I been here? Around 18 years.
How did you find the job here?
I just walked in the door and applied for a job.
Well, does that happen frequently?
That's about the only way you can get a job. You see, this isn't the first place I worked. I've worked in several other places.
Forgot what I was going to ask. Okay.
Just started the program here, I believe it was last year, where we elevate people within the plant. People who show some initiative and had some schooling. Well, we'd start them off at the bottom, and hopefully in time, like I said before, they will pan out and become a...
So if you have an opening for somebody in the tool and die, you would post that opening in the plant so somebody who already works here has first crack at the job?
Well, you can't start at the top. You got to start at the bottom. We don't only have tool and die makers here, we have machinists here. We also have what is known as a Class B machinist.
Would you explain the difference between a machinist and a tool and die maker?
Well, a machinist does most of the machining work. He makes the hydroform chucks, he makes parts up for dies. He'll do the turning on a blanking die. When it comes to putting it together, he may or may not put it together, depends on the complication, how complicated it is. If it's a simple job, he'll go ahead and put it together, a simple blanking job. If it's not a simple blanking job, then we'll go to the tool maker and he'll put it together.
Thank you. Maybe we can go look at some of the things that you're doing? Okay, thank you.
I'm not the foreman. Around and asked a lot of questions.
Okay, which,
Sorry.
anything going now, Henry, or what?
Can you talk about what you're doing as you do it?
Well, we're making, this is called an index head. What we're doing right now, we're cutting something so that we can index 6 different times. Everything's set up to a plane. Right now, this is set up so that I can cut a 45 and index at 6 different indexes equally spaced. That's all that's operating right now.
Can we watch you do it?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can do that.
How long does it take you to learn how to do this?
I've been working for 16 years and I'm still learning. But to learn this particular operation, you could learn in, I would say, an afternoon to do it. To understand it, I really couldn't say, But I've been working for 15 years, like I say, and I'm still learning a lot. There's a lot to learn. In different operations, this is basically strictly a milling operation. In this department, we have a lot of lathe work, we have a lot of bridge part work. We have grinding also. Grinding in itself is a trade. We have form grinding, which we don't do too much of here. But basically, in this department where we are right now, we're doing a lot of lathe work. And this is called milling, though.
Okay. We'll go back to watching. Thanks.